Hey everyone, it's Jessica here, and today I am hopping along with my friend Sarah Scraps, and we are doing a fun school hop today. And actually, this is a 3-day series, so there's a whole bunch of us participating in an elementary hop, middle school hop, and then a high school hop. So I have pulled out a Not Just for Boys Kit Club, and I am just pulling out little bits from it and using this yellow patterned paper by Basil. And then I have pulled out a sheet of textured black cardstock to use as kind of like a banner on my layout. So I've just roughed up the edges that I tore off, and I think I trimmed the sides down to like 9 inches or 9.5, something like that. And then I have pulled out this little pattern paper with little apples on it by Blvd, which is just so adorable. And that's from the School is Cool collection. And then basically I'm just going to stick a little piece of this to the bottom of my layout, and then I'm going to rip that a little bit just to give it a little bit more dimension and just another layer to that. And then later on I'll add a third layer as well, using some trim, which is super cute. And I'm just going to use that as my focal point and kind of the base of my layout. And then I've got my 2 photos of my little guy from kinder camp. I just snapped a couple photos real quick with his little letter board here whenever I dropped him off for kinder camp. And that was actually last week. So our school starts pretty late in August. So he actually doesn't even start kindergarten until Thursday, which would be tomorrow whenever this video is posted. So I don't have actual school pictures yet, but I have kinder camp and kindergarten registration pictures. So I'm just scrapping my kinder camp photos today. And he actually just turned 5 a couple weeks ago, so he just makes the cutoff by a couple weeks. But I'm sending him because he is definitely ready for school. So I'm just pulling out my tag dies here and just cutting a little tag so that I can do some journaling. And that's just my nested tag dies by Ellie Studio. And then I'm going to pop my date stamp right on the top of this tag using my Archival Ink in black and my Paige Evans date stamp. And then I'll add my journaling bits to that. Here's that other layer that I'm adding, just using a piece of trim. And I'm going to use my Nuvo glue just to glue it down lightly. And then I'm actually going to go back in with my Tim Holtz Tiny Attacher stapler and staple down in a few areas just to make sure that that is not going to go anywhere. I was going to do some machine stitching with my sewing machine on this layout, but I opted not to do that because I needed to do just a quick layout and get this one finished up tonight. I didn't feel like rethreading my machine because it actually has black in it right now and I wanted to use white, so I didn't want to mess with it, so I didn't do that. Instead, I did add some white splatters to my black just to give that some dimension. I just love the way that white splatters looks up against a dark background. It's one of my favorite things. So I went ahead and added those just with some white acrylic paint, watered down with my paintbrush. And then I'm just adding a little strip of adhesive to my tag and sticking my photo directly down to it because I know that's exactly where I want that to go. And then these little sun ray pieces, I actually made a whole big sun on another layout that I was going to do, and then I hated it, so I ripped it all off. But I saved all these little pieces that I cut in distress because I thought they would look super cute on a different layout, and here we are. So I'm actually going to tuck a few of these little sun rays in behind my photo here just to make that another focal point of my layout to kind of draw your attention to my photo. So I'm just tucking them in behind, and then I'm going to pop up my main photo here with some 3D tape by Thermal Web. So I'm just using a few strips and just peeling off the backing and sticking that down to my layout. So my sun rays actually already had adhesive because, like I said, they were already stuck to another layout. So all I had to do was just stick them onto this one. And then my journaling here is done at this point. I just used a black gel pen for that. And then I added a little shoe, a little sneaker, because I actually talk about his choice of shoes. I let him choose what shoes he wanted to wear to kinder camp, and he chose his Crocs. So it's fine. It's perfectly fine, but that's definitely not my choice of shoe. I would have put him in something a little bit nicer, but nothing wrong with Crocs, but I probably would have chose his nicer sneakers that he had. But, you know, that's what he wanted to wear, and that's what made him happy, so no big deal. So here I'm just pulling out some ephemera and die cuts by Blvd, and this is from the School is Cool collection. And I'm just going to pull out a whole bunch of these and kind of build my layouts from these little die cuts. as I go. So you'll see me just sorting through these, and as I find ones that I want to use, I'll pop them onto my layout. This one comes together fairly quick for me. It's a pretty simple layout. I just wanted my photos to be my main focal point, and along with that journaling, and then just kind of little pops of color here and there. So I'm just adding little bits. I wanted to make a little cluster at the top there on the left, and then I want to add some stars and some sequins and just little bits to this as well, just to kind of break up the black. So you'll see me pull out my sequin tool and add a bunch of sequins, which are also actually from the Not Just for Boys Kit Club. And then this cute little epoxy stars by Blvd. I'm going to add a whole bunch of those as well. I've also added that cute little pencil. It's actually acrylic. It's another paste by Not Just for Boys Kit Club. So I'm going to add actually 2 of those little pencils. They're just adorable and I absolutely love them. So I'm going to add a couple of those too. So I'm grabbing my thread here. I've actually twiddled some thread in behind that Learn banner, and then I'm just building a little cluster up in this top corner. And I really like the way that this is looking. I'm going to go ahead and pop my title down at this point. It's just going to say the same thing as my photos say, which is Kinder Camp. So I'll fast forward this so you don't have to watch me pop down every single letter. And then I am popping up this little cute recess ephemera piece, so it matches the dimension of my photo. So all of that is popped up in the same layering there. And I just wanted my letters to have a little extra something, so I'm just doing a little bit of doodling on them with my black pen. And just continuing to build this, I'm going to add some of these cute little adhesive brads, and I'm going to put some thread behind. So what I like to do with these when I'm using a thread is I like to put a glue dot on my piece, whatever I'm using, like flare or button or anything like that. I put a glue dot on first and then the thread, and then I put another glue dot just to make sure that that thread is kind of sandwiched in between the 2 adhesives, and I know that it's not going to go anywhere and it's going to stay on there for pretty much for life. So I know that it's not going anywhere. So here I'm just going to go ahead and put this little tab down. As you saw me earlier, I pulled that out. These are double-sided so that you can actually fold them in half and use both sides of them at the same time, but I like to cut them apart so I can use them on 2 different layouts or in 2 different spots. So here I'm just adding some more thread in behind some of my other embellishments. I'm adding a little bit of glue to this one. This is a chipboard piece, so I wanted to make sure that that was going to stick good. And I've had really good luck with adding Nuvo glue to my chipboard pieces, so that's what I'm using on this one instead of the glue dots, but I'm sure the glue dots would probably work too. Then I'm just sticking down my little Hello School. I love that little cute embellishment. I think that's just adorable. And cool kid, of course, because my son is an absolutely cool kid. He's totally adorable, and he didn't want to go to school. My journaling is actually about him not wanting to go to school at all until kinder camp, and then he met a new friend, and now he's totally excited to go to school. So that makes me happy because it makes it a little easier whenever he actually wants to go and I'm not feeling like I'm forcing him. So it's all good now. And like I said, he starts tomorrow whenever this video posts. So yeah, wish us luck and my mama heart. Hopefully I don't cry. I haven't cried yet. I've been really strong about it, and I've been feeling pretty good about it lately just because he is excited. So it's been a little bit easier on my heart, and hopefully he'll do good. And the teacher just said that he was chatty, super chatty at kinder camp. So hopefully he listens good and he is able to learn some things. So we'll see how it goes. Here's my little acrylic pencil. I'm going to go ahead and add some Nuvo glue on the back of that just to stick that down. And then I'm going to add, what else do I add? I already added my sequins, as you saw. I just sped that up so you didn't have to watch all of that. And then I just add that little apple right there in the side beside my tag, and just adding a couple more sequins just to finish off beside the little backpack. I'm just kind of tipping it to see if I forgot anything or missed anything there. And then I'm just going to do a little bit of doodling around my edge just to finish off the edges. So I decided it needed one more thing. What else could I possibly add, seriously? I can think of a few more things to add, honestly, but I sometimes I have to stop myself. So I do decide to add a little bit of thread stitching right here, just with my little needle poker tool, whatever that's called. I think it's actually it's for brads. It's a brad tool, but I like to use it to poke my holes to do some stitching. And then I'm just using my foam mat along with that, and then just doing my stitching here with some black thread. And then that's all finished up. So here is the finished layout. I'm going to put all the playlists in the description below for you, so you can hop along to everybody that's playing along and creating things for this hop and the other 2 hops as well. So look down in the description for that and hop along with all the other creators, because I know they have some wonderful things. So thank you guys so much for watching, and thanks for being here. Have a great day. Bye-bye.